What's up guys, I'm Landon from Shoeware, and today we're taking a quick look at Nike's newest running shoe, the Nike ZoomX Invincible Run Flyknit. Alright, so before we get into how these shoes actually feel to run in and move around in, let's take a quick look at the overall appearance of this new shoe. So I got these for $180, which is going to be where these land. So this is a little bit on the higher side for a price point, but if you're someone who runs regularly, then investing in running shoes that, don't make you miserable is kind of important. And hey, I'm not advocating for people to spend money recklessly, but those stimulus checks did just hit for a lot of people, so... But back to the appearance of these shoes. Right from the jump, this shoe just has a very unique build to it. I guess that's like the only way I can think to phrase that. Because if you look at this shoe directly from the top, and then it's even more noticeable looking at it from the bottom, you're going to see a ton of surface area just on the front of that shoe, and especially near the heel. It's kind of crazy to look at because of how much cushioning and material that you're going to get from the back half of that shoe. But I'm going to touch on that more in just a second. But there's just so much back there that it almost looks like a rectangle if you stare at it for too long. And then, of course, there's going to be a few different colorways for this new shoe that are out right now. I actually almost went with the white pair, but then I realized I'm going to be running in these and not trying to look cute. But this black and chili red pair, it still looks nice. And after all, it's a running shoe, so, as long as it meets the basic criteria for running, that is the main goal here. But I don't want to waste any more of your time talking about the appearance of a running shoe, so let's go ahead and check out how these shoes hold up in action. All right, so now for what we really came here for, let's check out the materials on these shoes and how they hold up from a performance standpoint. So straight up, just after a few times of use, I can already tell you that I really am a big fan of this new shoe, because even with all the extra materials that they put on these, they still remain comfortable and super light, which is a huge plus, because of course you don't want to be running around with like cinder blocks on your feet unless you're doing some kind of weird or different type of training. But just a quick side note, if you are at all insecure about your height and you just want to walk around a little bit taller, this would be a good shoe for you, because Nike has that ZoomX cushion stacked up pretty high in the back, and the shoe just kind of gives you a little bit of a confidence boost. But all right, I feel like I'm messing around too much in this video. But these do actually feature that Nike ZoomX cushion in the midsole, and I was just referencing, and it gives a super bouncy and responsive feel to these shoes. And it ultimately makes them super great and fun to run in. And then back to talking about the back setup of this shoe, Nike used a lot more foam and cushion in this shoe than you would typically see in just everyday running shoes. So to combat that, they actually went with what is called a rocker shape in the back, making them a little more curved. And what that's going to do is it will allow for a better heel to toe path whenever you're running. Studies have even been showing that this type of pattern and cushioning has reduced injuries for runners based off of Nike's individual trials and research. And I don't really want to bore you to death by reading off the findings verbatim, but the proof is there if you guys want to check that out on your own time. But the cushioning is definitely going to be the selling point on this shoe. And in my opinion, I think it lives up to the hype. And then for the traction of these, it's going to be made up entirely of rubber. And they do have a few mint colored pieces on there in the corners. I'm not really sure what the purpose was for those, but I didn't have any types of issues with slipping or anything with these shoes, so the traction pattern held up great. And then this is going to be a pretty durable shoe. It's going to last you for hundreds of miles before anything starts to wear down or need to be replaced. And I really think that Nike gave this shoe their best, because so many materials put into the upper on the shoes and to help with cushion, and yet somehow these still remain extremely light and breathable. So they really took some extra steps even to add in some more support to the heel, which you can really feel whenever you're walking around in them and running around in them too, of course. Because sometimes Nike's been known to sacrifice comfort and materials at the expense of making a shoe look a little bit more appealing, but they didn't really do that nearly as much on this shoe. And that really shows in the performance, I thought. And then to finish this off, this is a true to size fit for me, and that is what I would recommend, because they weren't too wide or too long. So I don't think you need to worry about going a half size up, even if you have a little bit wider feet. But of course, most places offer free returns, and we'll leave some links to these shoes in the description below for yourself so you can check them out, because these are definitely Shoeware approved. So that wraps up our performance review for the Nike ZoomX Invincible Run Flyknit. Thank you guys for taking some time to watch. And then, like I just said, there's going to be some links to purchase this shoe that can be found below in the description. And then be sure to also click the link in our bio. And from there, you can find our shoes that are available for sale on our website. And then you can also head over to our social media to stay informed on upcoming sneaker releases and just stuff like that. And then last, feel free to comment below, leave a comment, just let us know if you liked it, or just tell us any other shoes that you may want us to check out, because we're always encouraging any feedback that you guys may have. But until next review, I'm Landon from Shoeware. Peace.